Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. Now, first and foremost, my apologies for going live, well, literally half an hour late. I'm very sorry. My Wi-Fi started dying. I was watching the F1 at the same time. I'm running on like 2.5 hours sleep, so please let me off. I'm very, very sorry. Also, we need this to be a conversation today, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, running on 2.5 hours sleep. My Wi-Fi was bugging out during the game, and then I didn't see some of it, and then I saw some other bits of it and whatever else. And bloody Charles Leclerc won in Monza. So, I was slightly distracted. So I'm going to need you guys, but I think we're going to have a very good conversation. So I'm not going to sit here today trying to lecture anybody. I'm just going to, I'd like to have a conversation. For example, this here, what Lee says, why was Palmer so deep in the second half? Honestly, didn't even have time to comprehend that. Like I say, 2.5 hours sleep is not enough. I don't know. Putting Felix in this position killed whatever momentum we had. Yeah, honestly, maybe it did. Enzo needs to get dropped. Lavia, Cucurella, pivot moving forward. Mate, Lavia ain't even fit. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't really know, mate. I don't really know. I'm not surprised at all. After the shambles on Thursday, though, boy, Wolves must be bad. True. Maybe Wolves is just terrible. Maybe that's the thing. See, where is Pies? The clear leg cheerleader. Aman, you misunderstand Pies completely. Pies is the opposite of a clear leg cheerleader. But anyway, yeah, it's not fun, is it? 1-1, 2 home games, no win. Feels like last season again. By the way, the beard is going soon, so you don't have to deal with that very much longer. So, that's something positive. But yeah, what can I even say, right? 1-1 against Crystal Palace. We started the game off really, really well. Had some chances. Noni Maresca could have made it 2-0 in like the first 10 minutes, really. Then we do score. Lovely team goal, on the break. Maresca with some good pace. Plays it to Palmer. Squares it to Jackson. Nice goal. Brilliant. On the road to a wonderful game. Potentially wonderful result. We still continue playing relatively well. Could have had some, should have scored some more goals before and after we did score. We go into half-time, Palace come out, and the whole game's different. Now, Palace I don't know exactly what they changed. I mean, Juice says first half was also poor. Fair enough in the grand scheme of things, but I think we could have easily been 2 or 3-0 up, and that wouldn't have been, like, undeserved. I also think Hughes, what was his first name? Will Hughes, is it? Should have been sent off with a second yellow card, especially for how easily and quickly Pedro Neto got his yellow card. Hey, that changes the game. Imagine Hughes is sent off at 1-0 in the first half. Do you know what I mean? Ike says, defense did well today, but attack let them down today. Is that so? Fair enough. I honestly need to look at the stats as well as we go through the stream because, like I say, I couldn't even see everything. I couldn't, like I say, I need you today, guys. I need you. So please be involved. I'd appreciate that a lot. Let me look at some stats. I mean, we had more possession. We had more expected goals. We had weirdly more expected goals today than we did when we scored 6 at Wolves. At Wolves, we had, I think, what was it, 1.52 or something? And Wolves had 1.9 and we won 6-2. And today we had 2.27 XG and Palace had 0.44. Trust me, by me saying this doesn't mean, look, we were good because we had good XG. No. What I'm trying to say here is that XG isn't the worst stat in the world, but often also means absolutely awful. But, I mean, we had 13 shots, 5 big chances. Palace didn't have a single big chance and still equalised. We had 7 shots on target. It's not great. We hit the woodwork. Sorry, what have I missed? When did we hit the woodwork? When did that happen? Can someone please tell me who with the woodwork? Oh my god. I honestly can't lie, guys. Like, I appreciate all of you that have tuned in today. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that just yet, because I'll be honest, I don't feel 1000% prepared to sit here talking about this game today because I didn't even know we hit the flipping woodwork. So my apologies. So I can change the camera. So is it better now? Well, why? Why is it like this? What if I do like this? Ooh, that's weird, isn't it? That looks very odd. Oh, look how small I am now. I mean, maybe we do have to do this one. Is the round one better than the circle one? Than the square one? I don't hate the round one if I'm on my own, Why not? Let's do round for now. Obviously, put your thoughts in if you think it looks shit. But yeah, like I say, tricky. Angelo could be off to Saudi. Yep, that's what happens when you sign too many players in the same positions. I mean, we already have too many players in that position in the squad. Let alone Estevao coming, Kendry Paez coming, let alone the likes of Angelo and bloody God knows who else isn't even getting anywhere near anything. It's a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, let's take a more overall perspective, and then we'll bring the lineup up. We'll talk about each individual player, because I put it on the thumbnail, and maybe people will take it the wrong way. Are we in trouble, or do we trust the process? Because it doesn't feel that different to last season, does it? Like, we obviously had that start against Liverpool. Okay, it was a tad better than the start against Man City this season, but also Liverpool is not as good as Man City. Let's be real. Then we had a 3-0 good win against Luton last season early on. We had the 6-2 against Wolves this time, and then we weren't great the game after that. And it feels a bit like that today. But some people will lose their minds. I've seen people say, pass backwards today, too much today. Maresca got outdone by Oliver Glasner. Whatever way you want to look at it is maybe all somewhat fair enough. But I think I'm not sure if people are, but don't lose your minds yet, people. Please, we're too early in the season. We're too early on the new manager. And the thing is, that's why I keep having a go at the sporting directors and the owners, because I'm not going to sit here and have a go at these players for not being able to play together when they've, we signed too many players all of the time. Do you know what I mean? And also, all the right backs we have are injury prone, so that's not ideal, because obviously Reece James is suspended anyway, but he's also injured. Now, Malagusto also got injured, so what are we going to do? Should play Acheampong, but probably will not, won't we? Do you know what I mean? Enzo midfield, he should have had one of them assists of the season, because he should have had an outrageous assist for Noni Madueke, but unfortunately the keeper saved it. And even the goal that we conceded, we look better on set pieces attacking them. We haven't scored from them yet, but Chalobah had the chance to do so in the first half. We look better than we did on that last season, but defensively, we still can't do anything. There's no communication. The amount of miscommunication moments that we have between goalkeepers, various defenders, when trying to clear the ball, could the goalie catch it? Instead, the goal we conceded, Sanchez would have literally caught the ball, but Chalobah cleared it. Now, I don't know, did Sanchez not shout? Did Chalobah not hear the shout? Did Chalobah not trust the shout? Because I understand, if my goalkeeper was Robert Sanchez, I would probably also not trust him when he's telling me I've got it. Because, have you ever seen Sanchez get anything? Even that there was that other shot from distance that he nearly spilled into his own goal because he's just so incapable. Do you know what I mean? People, and I put it on the thumbnail as well, Nicolas Jackson. But people are losing their minds over Nicolas Jackson while we have Robert Sanchez in goal. Figure out your priorities, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what I mean? And, would I have wanted Osimhen? For sure. Sorry, guys, by the way. I was very busy last week. Couldn't do nothing on deadline day. I just did not have time. I do apologize. But, yeah, obviously, we bought that Osimhen stuff. I'm not that mad about not getting Osimhen. I'm a bit mad about not having a plan B. I've said it all along. I don't think it's a bad thing to give Jackson another season as starting striker. Now, sure, you can sit here today and the last 2 chances that he had in the game where you're should have scored that. And yeah, maybe should have done. But is there a guarantee that Osimhen would have? Absolutely not. And I hate that people sit there and pretend if we had this different striker, then everything would have been different. It's just a load of bollocks. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool goal against United, is it? There you go. Trent already 7 minutes in. Bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? At least Spurs lost. That's something. And at least Ferrari and Charles Leclerc won in Monza. What's the Ferrari? Do you know what I mean? So there's a little bit of me that's still buzzing. But yeah, I don't want to lose my mind about it too much, because I went into this season fully prepared for games like this. I was fully expecting games like this. Do you know what I mean? Because it's natural. It's natural that we'd have games like this. We have a manager that plays a very different kind of style of football. We have a manager where patterns, positionings is very important when it comes to breaking down low blocks and good defensive teams. And that isn't going to start from day one. And I know it's not day one. Let's say that isn't going to be great even after 7-8 weeks. 7-8 weeks is nothing in football terms that we've been working together. Pep has been at City for 9 years or 8 years, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Maresca has not even been here for 2 months. So give it a bit of time. Don't lose our minds too soon. And I just I really don't like the discourse that because we didn't sign Osimhen, we now pile on Nicolas Jackson. I completely disagree with that. If anything, we should be supporting Nicolas Jackson even more. The guy scored today. I know he should have scored at the end as well, but he scored. If we could just keep a clean sheet for once. How many games we played this season? Okay, we got a clean sheet in the first game against Seven. Fucking brilliant. That was lucky as well, mind you. If we could actually defend, I know someone said earlier the defense did well today. Well, couldn't keep a clean sheet, would we? No goal. VAR. Offside. So still 0-0 for United and Liverpool. Appreciate that, by the way. But again, guys, get involved. Get involved. See, Lee, try to be a bit if we're having a conversation and it's not going to be just me sitting here waffling, right? Let's be a bit more rational, okay? because that's just an over-the-top statement. Like, Enzo would have had an outrageous assist if Noni scores. And if he does have that outrageous assist, everybody's laughing and loving it. But then, of course, he has his other issues. But for me, it's like, also, what's Caicedo doing? Like, it's always always Enzo. It's always Enzo. It's always Enzo. I don't know why. I mean, I understand obviously what happened in the summer, but this was already the case that everybody always blamed Enzo for everything beforehand. So, yeah. And we're back to 11th. Brilliant. I mean, don't I love that? It's where we belong. Mid-table. Do you know what I mean? Mid-table. No wonder Osimhen didn't really want to come. We would have had to pay the guy. Oh, I haven't changed the bloody picture from what Lewis has changed it to. I mean, I don't really feel particularly happy about it today, but yeah, I'm not going to lose my mind over it too much. I hope you guys are the same. But yeah, we're an embarrassment. Jason says the banter era continues. I mean, yeah, watch the stats. Caicedo carried Enzo, wake up. No, I'm not even saying that Caicedo didn't do that today. And I haven't even looked at the individual stats yet. I'm not even saying that. I was just thinking of certain moments. I literally visibly remember it. Like, we're getting hit on the break. Enzo couldn't really stop it in midfield. And Caicedo, rather than being in midfield, he dropped back essentially with the back line and essentially dropped back with the centre-backs. And I'm like, mate, you're supposed to be the DM. You're supposed to stop them coming to the defence, not drop deep with the defence. You know what I mean? Are we not blaming the home fans today? Honestly, didn't hear them once. All I've heard all day was the Palace fans. So, in a way, I would say, yes, do blame them. Also, the dickheads in Servette, by the way, I'm not forgetting that. Anyway, what does Ricky say? No one was really outstanding today. Seems like when Palmer has no space, we're in trouble. I think it's too soon even to make a statement like that. Like, we just didn't have the best game overall today. But this is what you're going to get, guys. Like, I know we rotated a bit, but we played on Thursday in Europe. We lost, so that will kill any momentum. Even if we still qualified, obviously. Kill the momentum. You play on Sunday. And we're playing good teams. Like, I don't know. Like, I know Palace didn't have a good start, but I put Palace 8th at the beginning of the season. In my season prediction. Second half, we just couldn't break them down. But am I like, that's the most normal thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm too positive or not annoyed enough. But first of all, Ferrari in Monza. So I'm sorry, guys, that I can't be more annoyed. I'm really sorry. But at the same time, I saw this coming, man. Not necessarily. I'm not saying for specifically this one game. I'm saying just this kind of start of the season where we'd have some good games like the game against Wolves, and even the game against Wolves in the first half, we were kind of poor. Well, not poor, but not great. Conceded 2 silly goals, and then just had an outstanding second half. But also Wolves were terrible, and we just used our moment. Well, yeah, but I don't know. These players have never played in front of a Turkish atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, have they? Also, Turkish atmosphere isn't always great. I'm no expert on it, but there's a lot of booing going on down there as well. Bournemouth can be tricky, 100%. Bournemouth can be tricky, definitely. Kuzi says, Laurenz, do you think Maresca knows his wingers well enough? For me, Pedro Neto is struggling on the left. Funny stat. We have too many left for the players. Yeah, we do have too many left for the players. Does he know his wingers well enough? I don't really know. I think we just have too many. Because when Madueke is in this kind of form and Pedro Neto is your most expensive signing of the summer, but really they are both competing for the same position, but then you both want to play both of them, what do you then do? Because if Madueke is with Palm, obviously, still looks the most dangerous player by far. So you're not dropping Madueke if you're being serious, because Pedro Neto, sure, he had that assist for João Felix, but otherwise he's not done anything impressive so far. And he's kind of done exactly what he looked like at Wolves. A good player that is nice on the eye, has some good dribbles, can beat a player, has some nice, he can even cross. But at the end of the day, doesn't really get goal involvements because I don't know why. I mean, obviously things can change, but as of now. So for now, it's like, okay, Madueke is almost guaranteed has to start. But then you have to start either Neto not at all or on the left. But now that we have Sancho as well, and obviously there's still Mudryk, and also we're obviously paying Sterling 160 grand a week to play for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? That's obviously bloody brilliant. Yeah, we just have terrible squad planning. Like, we just don't have a balanced squad at all. We have one striker. Then we have two options at striker who are not good at strikers, like Nkunku and João Felix. Then we have Guehi, who runs a lot, but seemingly is scared in front of goal. Obviously only 18, so, give the kid time for sure. But, if we're talking about, say, Jackson is injured or suspended or poor run of form or needs a rest, it's not going to go well, is it? Do you know what I mean? And then the next thing is obviously we have way too many attackers that are way too similar to each other, way too many attackers that won't all play. Sure, you can say, okay, sometimes someone is in bad form. I mean, that's just not true, though, is it? Like, it's just not even close to true. Like, it's so silly. I don't understand you guys, man. Why is it Jackson's fault that the club are incapable of signing another striker? Why is that Jackson's fault? Jackson for who he is and what he is. He's a good player, man. He scored a goal today. I don't understand why people like lose their mind so much over silly things like this. Who is worse? Half the team, mate. I mean, to all you Enzo Fernandez fanboys who come back at me every time I told you all he's average and not good enough, come at me now. Well, I'm still coming at you now because it's just silly to blame one individual. It's just individual. Where's Lavia? Well, injured, because we only sign injured players, don't we? Or injury-prone players. It's very unfortunate because he was fantastic in preseason. Absolutely fantastic. But now he isn't because he's injured. Yeah. Hopefully he's supposed to be back after the international break. But whether that turns out true or not, I don't know. But obviously he will be. He will be important when he's back. How many matches is Reece banned for? He should be back after the international break now. Yeah, that was our third league game. So now Reece is back if he's fit. I doubt he's going to be fit, but hey, let's see. A striker was not our problem today. Exactly. H. Nako says Jackson's not the issue. It's our insistence on relying on him only. Yeah, one injury to Jackson and we'll be calling for him to be back ASAP. Exactly. Sumtos, backs his point. It says Jackson error consistently drops us points again after again. He is the worst, maybe only behind Sanchez. Nah, I think you've not got a clue if I'm being honest. But anyway, despite enough, the team is missing goalkeeper, CDM, striker. What can I say, man? Lee Enzo says, typical home performance against an average team, been like it for 3 years. Honestly, it's been like that for more. Like, we talk about 3 years and there's no ownership. It's been like this under Tuchel. It was like that under the manager beforehand. It's been like this really since Conte's gone. Or since Conte's title-winning season. We've had games like this every season. And every season we lose our minds. And every season we blame the manager. And every season we blame the current players. But still, it kind of happens every season under every manager. Do you know what I mean? Disappointing result, Supreme says. Truth be told, Chelsea would have won if we took a chance before Palace equalised. But after that, there was a lot of sideways passing. Yeah, 100%. And again, let's not forget the Palace are a good team. Good defense, good coach. This is the Premier League. Not everybody's going to be as terrible as Wolves was. Do you know what I mean? That's sometimes how it goes. Gusto wasn't good in the midfield. Gusto wasn't good. The midfield was okay. Honestly, these are the kind of things that I kind of struggle with today in terms of like how good was each individual. So when we get to the player ratings in a minute, guys, I'm a really need you guys to be involved and help me out because I'm really very, yeah, I didn't catch everything. Like I say, my stream broke down, and then I had no internet for 10 minutes. Then I turned it back on, and then I missed everything. Blah blah. So it was a bit of a nightmare. What am I seeing here? I mean, Sumtos just wants to pile up on Nicolas Jackson. If that's what you want to do, mate, do it somewhere else, please. Lienzo, oh lovely, a nice international break to look forward to. Well, at least we can't see Chelsea bottling it, so that's something. Jackson sold for us again at the end, but I won't get on him because aside from that chance, I thought you played well. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, he should have taken that chance. He will say that he should have taken that chance. And that is what it is. But there's no guarantee Osimhen scores that chance. Osimhen had less non-penalty goals last season than Jackson did in a much worse league. I'm just saying. Also for a maybe not better team, but not worse team than we was. Felix Palmer partnership could be something if they stop being greedy. Sure, could be. Chelsea's a good watch. Is good to watch. Best team in 3 years, guys. Well, 3 years from now, we will be the best team. Well, let's see. First points drop to Palace in 7 years. Okay, fair enough. I say this happens every year. Well, fair enough, it doesn't. But I will also make the argument that Palace have never been as good as they are right now. I will make that case as well. And remember last time we played Crystal Palace? Well, I'm pretty sure the game before they got the new manager. So, maybe we just got lucky. Gusto muscle injury. I mean, yeah, you saw it on the pitch, innit? So, who are we going to play right back now? Dizazi, Achimpong. I guess we just invert Cucurella now, I suppose, and we play Dizazi or Fofana maybe as the right side of centre back, whatever. We can say goodbye to competing in any serious silverware for the next 9 years while he's here. You're silly. Sometimes calm down about blaming one individual player, or I'm just mute you. It's as simple as that. Because what is this? Like, come on, can we be rational? Can we be adults and not be acting like silly teenagers on Twitter, please? Like, let's be serious. Yeah, but how do you define it? They were good at stopping us doing anything in the second half. They were good at that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can say, "Oh, we were bad." Maresca said, "We didn't take 3 points, but playing like the way we do today, I think we will win games." So he's happy. So the fans will already be fuming again because this is a bit more like Potter days now, right? Because Aman says, Laurenz brother, don't say it's just 3 games. It's been 2 years of mediocrity. So we cannot treat it as a simple start of a new season. No, we can't. But I have purely given up. I've purely given up. I have no hope in the sporting structure. I have no hope in the plan that they have. I have no hope in what they are trying to do will succeed. None. So therefore, the only hopes I have are the individual players and the manager. And for the manager, it is a new season. And for the manager of him doing things the way he's doing it, he's not even 2 months in. So you're right, Aman. You're right. But that's exactly what I expected, though. Like I expected us to have an up and down start to the season. That's exactly what I expected. Sure, first time we dropped points to Palace in 7 years. Fair enough, but I still expected this kind of season where you'd have a good game like against Wolves. You'd have a game where you're like somewhat in it, but don't have enough quality like against City. And then you have a game like today where you play all right. If you take your chances, you easily win the game. If you get a bit lucky with a ref decision, like I say, Will Hughes could have easily been sent off. When you look at how Declan Rice got sent off yesterday, my God, how was Will Hughes still on the pitch? And hey, Oliver Glasner clearly agreed because he took him off a minute after, which is obviously mental. So, think of that when you will. Ricky says, Reece needs to stay fit. If he was whipping in crosses, we would create so many more chances. Sure, but because we have Jackson as our only striker, not like Osimhen or someone that's good in the air, Jackson is going to score many others, so it doesn't really make a difference if we've got Reece James in that perspective. Also, the way Reece James is going to play in this system and going to be whipping anything. Lee says, when does the new manager bounce kick in? It doesn't. We're past that. You actually need to have a good, competent team. The way under Roman Abramovich, why the new manager bounce always worked. It's because we had a relatively stable squad for the most part. Sure, we added a few every year and we lost a few every year, but there was a certain spine that was kind of like there. You could change the manager, the team is still there. But now when we change the manager, the team barely know each other. They've only known each other a year and a half. Some of them, added even more of them now. A lot of them even don't suit each other at all. Kind of stand in each other's way. Some of them, not just saying on the pitch, I'm just saying in all of the players that we have. Like we have Nkunku, who last season everybody tried to tell us is the hope and like Lord and Savior, the one guy that will save everything. Did nothing in Servette. Sure, scored a penalty, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And then gets 5 minutes today. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Aman says fair enough, and I get it. Reece James too big. The captain needs to lose, but no, it's not true anymore. He's actually quite lean these days, I would say. But yeah, it's obviously muscle. I'm not sure if you're talking about Gusto or Reece being big. I don't know. Lee says, I felt Enzo Maresca confused that game with this tinkering in the second half. How much tinkering do you feel he did? Like, please elaborate. I appreciate that. Maresca on the club failing to sign a striker. We wanted players, but a player we decide. It has to be on our condition. If a player is not here, it was not on our conditions. We will see in January. So, yeah, that's that. And that's facts, though. To be honest, I've gotten tired of blaming Jackson because we had the whole window to bring another top striker, or we got askew. Jackson can't do much about it. Exactly. Team need help. We bought Sancho, who need help himself. Yeah, facts. Reece wouldn't do much because fullbacks and Maresca don't attack with overlaps on the wings. We can clearly see Gusto suffering from this. Yeah, he is. Although Gusto, when he was in positions to cross, for example, against Wolves or against Servette, he played terrible crosses. So, do you see Winstanley and Stewart laughing at 1-0? No, I didn't. I did not see that. I'm happy I didn't have to see the ugly faces. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. All right, let me bring up the lineup screen, shall we, guys? And let's talk about this. I'm not going to be here for 3.5 hours today because, well, first of all, as you can see, I'm by myself. And as you can also tell, I'm kind of struggling with what I need to say anyway because I didn't see everything off the game because of my bloody internet. And because I'm running on 2.5 hours sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you're here, I appreciate you very much. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't done that just yet. That would be fantastic and really massively appreciated. And I'd absolutely love you for that. But yeah, so let me just adapt this a little bit. Do I still want to be round? No, it's still like this then. So I'm a little bit bigger. But if I wish StreamYard would give me a few more options because look at this. It's just too small. You can't even read it anymore now. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so we're going to have to do like this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into these player ratings, shall we? And what Premier signing actually changes the game today? Good question. None. I don't think. See, that's what I think. Individual signings, when you have a team, like when you have a stable team and then you add a quality signing, it can change a lot. When you have an unstable team where you change the manager all the time, you change the philosophy all the time, you have super young players who most of them don't know each other very well. Now we have too big of a squad because we're scared of injuries again. But if we don't get injuries again, we're going to have squad problems because we're going to have too many players unhappy with not getting enough game time. But instead, I lost my train of thought because Mervell distracted me. He said, if Havertz missed that 1v1 on Jackson earlier, I would be calling him a donkey. See, I wouldn't. And that's why I always got slated. But also, difference, Havertz cost more than double of what Nicolas Jackson cost. Havertz was supposed to be one of the best talents in the world. Nicolas Jackson was a striker no one had ever heard of, who only turned into a striker the season we bought him. Or the season before we bought him, I guess. So, yeah, that makes it obviously difficult. Jorginho is better than Enzo. I don't disagree. Different kind of players, but at what Jorginho does, Jorginho is certainly better. That's for damn sure. The Enzo disrespect to Sam Warren said, I agree. I think it's a bit over the top, but hey, people always pick out the people they hate. I find it also weird. Like, are you actually called Enzo Lee? Is that why you hate Enzo so much? Because same name and you want him to do better because he has the same name as you? Or why are you called Enzo? Maybe it's just an online name for you. Enzo Caicedo is rubbish. We need Gallagher Caicedo long season ahead. Yeah. Well, you ain't getting Gallagher anymore. To be fair, he hasn't been absolutely fantastic for Atletico yet either. I got to say that. But yeah, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we get to Robert Sanchez, shall we? Let me look at some stats. And you got to get involved as well. I genuinely don't think he really could have done much about the goal. It was too good of a finish. If it was Kepa goal, obviously everybody would have blamed Kepa and would have said if we had a taller goalkeeper, they would have saved it. And today is proof that a taller goalkeeper doesn't always save it. It is what it is. The one that he flapped at, that he nearly kind of bounced into his own goal. I mean, there's a problem, but obviously it didn't actually lead to a goal. So I don't really know what to make of it. He only made 2 saves. Like, Palace basically didn't attack other than when they scored, and we just failed to concede the other chances. So I would probably just give Jackson a basic 6. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, genuinely, I need all of you guys that are watching, put your ratings for every player that we talk about in the chat. I'm not gonna because I can't do a poll for every player. I can't do that. Well, I could, but I need to always give you guys enough time to place your votes. And then if every 2 minutes or 5 minutes we change player, then there's going to be like 5 votes, and that's pointless. So please put your ratings for each player in the chat as we talk about it. That would be massively appreciated. Kevin says Sancho's distribution was fair. Yeah, it was all right. To be honest, I didn't notice him make a big mistake on that. But then again, I didn't see every moment of the game. So, maybe there was moments that I just missed. So according to the stats, we hit the post or the woodwork. I still don't know when that was supposed to have happened. So I didn't see anyone in the chat tell me about it either. Maresca will have no choice but to invert Cook now that Malo's injured. Yeah, absolutely. And we feel it's non-existent. We didn't deserve to win that game. No, I agree. I think a draw was the fair result, if I'm being perfectly honest. 5.5, Kevin says. But guys, can we have a serious word here now? I ask you guys to put your rating for each player in the chat. And Kevin here is the only one that's actually understood the assignment and put the rating in the chat. It's really not difficult. There's plenty of people chatting in the chat. I know some people will probably be watching behind, which is always like, please don't write in the live chat if you're not watching live, because obviously it makes everything a bit confusing. But yeah, I'm going to say 6. But yeah, I mean, Supreme says 6. Thank you, Supreme, for another person getting involved. So please put your ratings in the chat, for flip's sake. It's not that difficult, Listen to me. If you're watching, I assume you can hear, and I assume you understand English. So, and I speak English. So there you go. Ricky also goes to 6. See, I've got a few people coming in. So, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, it's a collaboration today. It's a collaboration. It's not just me. Nenny, not sure how you like your name pronounced. Kind of like my cousin's name. Not exactly, but kind of. 5.5, you say. So we've had a couple of 5.5s. We've had a couple of 6s. Bloody hell. Okay, I'm sorry, Sumos. I'm going to mute you for 5 minutes now. Just leave it. All you've done in the half an hour streaming that we've done so far is complain about Nicolas Jackson. I get it. We get it. You didn't rate him today. You don't like him. You don't think he's good enough. Calm the fuck down. How old are you? 12? Say something different, man. What are you, a parent? Say something more than the same thing. Flip's sake. Ricky says Sancho's average. Yeah, he was. He just didn't have much to do. He made 2 saves, and I don't think he could have done anything about the goal. And I don't think he made particularly bad mistakes in terms of playing out from the back or anything. So, yeah. H-Naku 5.8 fair dose. Supreme says Sancho didn't really do much wrong. The goal was a good strike. Still think we need better than him. Absolutely, 1,000%. Robert Sanchez is absolutely nowhere near good enough. And while we have Robert Sanchez, we will never do anything successful. I'm not sure if the same doesn't also apply to Philip Jorgensen, though. So, yeah, fantastic squad building as usual. I think because Sanchez now is not quite, conclusive today, let's just leave it at that. Levi Colwill, then. What do you reckon, guys? Had a chance to score first half. Good pass completion rate, 95%. Bloody hell, played a lot of passes. He played 111 passes, 106 of them were successful. 2 out of 5 accurate long balls, 1 out of 1 tackle, 3 out of 5 ground duels, 4 out of 4 aerial duels. Honestly, the stats look very strong from Levi Colwill. So, chat, what are you putting in the chat? It's really difficult, right? Because we conceded a goal, and that one goal that we conceded is obviously why we dropped points, because we can't keep a clean sheet. We did score one, sure, we should have scored more, but you can win with one goal. I sound like Michael Owen, but you get the point. But if the goalkeeper only makes 2 saves, the players didn't, the defenders individually didn't do a bad job. I mean, we'll get into the individuals, like I say. But Levi Colwill, from the stats and from what I see, I would probably say 7. I mean, Ricky agrees. Again, chat, please put your ratings in the chat. H-Naku says 6.4. I love that you're just doing random decimals, but fair dues. Kevin says 7 as well. I didn't like Enzo. I can say in today's game, when have we ever liked them as a combination? It's tricky, isn't it? Supreme says 6.5, fair dues. Nene says the goal was individual brilliance and luck. We can't really blame anyone. Yeah, exactly. Midfield was the problem. I don't even think so. I think it's just the way we are capable of dealing with our own structure. We give the ball away in positions where we shouldn't give the ball away. And we are not quick enough yet at shifting between our in-possession formation and out-of-possession formation. Like, we've discussed this plenty. Obviously, it's kind of like then Enzo goes a bit like here. Then I guess Caicedo pushes a bit here. You have Gusto up there. You have either a 3-3-4 or a 3-3-3-1, depending on what you want to call it. It's probably that. That's what we also did against Wolves. So we play for the most part. But the shifting around of then Gusto falling to over here, but then Caicedo coming to over here, and then that gap being created, and then that gap needing filling. That's the difficult part, and that's the part that we struggle with, like shifting across from having possession, losing possession, going from winning possession back and going into our own possession shape again. That's the part we struggle with most for me. Lee Enzo says, you didn't explain why you called Enzo, I think, but anyway, big difference between us and top teams. Alone through on goal in stoppage time, you just have to score that. Sure. But that's also plenty of times we haven't scored that in the past with better players, bigger players, and other big players. It happens as well. It is what it is. Way too much space between defense and attack is midfield's fault. No, I think it's still too simple. I think it's an adaptation to the system. But I also think to an extent you're right. Like Enzo and Caicedo don't really work together so far. And we miss Lavia. Is it just me, or is Chalobah maturing very rapidly on a Maresca? Yeah, fair. It was crazy what happens when you don't play him left back, isn't it? Chalobah could have probably hit more balls over the top. Maybe. But Palace played quite deep, right? So there wasn't really that much space to attack them in behind for the most part. We had Caicedo in centre back, Fofana right back, Gusto centre mid at one point. What's wrong with playing where you're supposed to? Well, you're better going to have to get used to that. So what he's saying is in moments when obviously the way the ball shifted, it's just easier for Caicedo to drop rather than everybody else to move around. So that's just sometimes how it's going to happen. But yeah, I also didn't like it sometimes because that, made it for me more difficult for us to control in midfield. My highlight was Osimhen's late winner as a sub. No, wait, that was a dream because I fell asleep during the second half. Yeah, but also, even if we signed Osimhen, he wouldn't have been eligible for today, like Jadon Sancho. So it wouldn't have made a difference whether we signed Osimhen or not for today. Supreme says, sometimes Caicedo seemed to join the defensive line and Palmer came really deep when we built from the back. Very interesting. I think it lowered our amount of mistakes in the press. Interesting. Like I say, I didn't see everything. So do you reckon at times we kind of built... But where was then Gusto? Was it like this? Like, surely not. Like, Gusto didn't become the middle, did he? So, yeah. I mean, you're saying that. Whether I'll take your word for it or not, maybe a different question. But interesting. Very, very interesting anyway. Yeah, I think Levi Colwill with a 7 is all right. Shall we move on to Wesley Fofana? Didn't mind him today. Didn't think he looked bad. Thought he was a bit harsh for the booking that he got. Obviously, he got a lot less off the ball than Colwell, because he had 66 passes compared to Colwell's 111. But you see where the build-up responsibility lies in the team, obviously. But he still had 95% successful rate of that. Had a successful dribble, joined most in the team. So that tells you everything you need to know. He also had 4 out of 5 long balls. That's actually very impressive. 1 out of 1 tackle, 4 out of 6 ground duels is good. 1 out of 1 aerial duel. Honestly, I'd give him a 7 as well. I mean, chat, what do you reckon about Fofana? H. says 6.2. So you did a bit less than Colwell fares. JP says 7. Kevin says 6.5, 6.5. I mean, some of you would maybe go a tad lower. But yeah, for sure, Max P, absolutely, because he's not been great in a lot of games. That must be said. So that is that. But yeah, I'll say 7. Again, I'm very, very happy for you guys to disagree with me. And obviously, I'm asking you for a rating. Put the rating. But then if you want to elaborate why you maybe disagree with what I said or why you think what you say, please do. Because like I say, I'm very intrigued to not just hear your ratings, but also why you would elaborate the ratings. 7.5, he was better than Levi. Do you reckon? I think they're all right to get the same rating, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, some people clearly think so. And then they also said 7.5. Defending wasn't bad today. They just took the opportunity they got. Yeah, no, exactly. And fair play to Eze for that goal. Sorry, Laurenz. Just arrived. Who are we rating? Well, currently Wesley Fofana, mate. Currently Wesley Fofana. But for clarification, for people that may have joined late, I watched the whole game, but my internet, so I watched the games via Sky X, kind of like Sky Go. So, yeah, my internet all of a sudden stopped working, so I had to restart that, and then it stopped working again, so I had to restart it again. So I missed a good 10 minutes of the game. There was also the F1 at the same time. I'm running a 2.5 hours sleep, so I'm a bit woozy, a bit all over the shop. Foppy. Foppy's a good name. 7.5. Liverpool goal, Kevin says. Fair dues. Who scored it this time? My phone will tell me in a minute, I'm sure. But yeah, I think there was a few 7.5s, there was a few 6.5s, a few 7s. I think overall, front of shirt sponsor news, is there? Or are you asking me whether I have news? Because I do not. But yeah. We move on to Cucurella, who I honestly don't know about today. There was a few moments that I remember from Cucu today when he was trying to tackle on the left and he kind of just fell over constantly. Passing 89%, so all right. More pass than Fofana, which is interesting. Had a successful dribble, 1 out of 3 long balls, 2 out of 4 tackles, 2 out ground duels, 2 out of 5 aerial duels. Probably give him a 6. Would anyone give him less than a 6? Diaz. Yeah, fair play, Kevin. Thank you very much for keeping us up to date. My apologies. And then they say in 6, Shandon Linglong Tire.co. Say, remember when we had Yokohama tires? Bloody hell. I mean, the Super Poodle. The Super Poodle. To be fair, some of you are saying 5.5. Yeah, 5.5, 6, I'm thinking, roughly that. I think if we give, I could say 5.5, but I generally don't think he was a bit rash. I do agree with that, but at the same time, I kind of want that from him. Do you know what I mean? Like when there's maybe a bit of lack of intensity, particularly in the second half, that's what I need from Cucurella. But I do agree with that. Needs to get the ball to Neto quicker. That's a bit of an issue with Cucurella a few times, isn't it? That when it was Mudryk on the left and it was Sterling on the left, he didn't find the left winger quickly enough. But then again, I'm not the manager. Maybe the manager doesn't want it to be moving exactly like that. You play 2 forward, yeah. There's certainly a case to be made that at times we almost created a bit like a 2-4-4. I guess you could call it a 2-4-3-1, which is a bit of a weird formation, obviously, because Cucurella certainly wasn't quite. Yeah, if the problem is obviously while I'm alone, if I'm streaming alone, I can't adapt and I can't get things ready as easily. So if you give me a second, guys, I will quickly head over to SofaScore. I will do that. So just bear with me. Please, obviously, share your thoughts as always in the chat. I'll quickly go over to SofaScore and get a screenshot of the average positions in the game today. Why is it SofaScore? I've had the app for long enough. Why is it asking me? Okay, interesting. It's very interesting, actually, what you're going to see now. Now I need to just airdrop it to myself quickly so I can actually get it on screen and we can talk about the average positions. And maybe I should move it around exactly like that then. So I'm quickly airdropping it. Don't go anywhere, guys. Like I say, though, if you haven't done that yet, hit the like button and subscribe. That would be great. Yeah, no, I've heard that we were linked to them. I've heard that before. But so have I got it? You know when you're not sure whether the airdrop has worked or not? It's always a bit awkward, isn't it? Show all files. Do I have it? Well, there we go. Now I do. Now I do. Let me just select that. Can I add it? Yes. So here's the average position. As you can tell, I need to shift it around maybe a little bit because truly Enzo Caicedo was kind of part of the centre backs, which is kind of crazy. And then you had obviously Gusto kind of in midfield with Enzo Fernandez. This is kind of interesting. Let me quickly remove it again off screen and I'll shift it around how it seems to have been more accurately. It seems to have been a bit more one of these ones, which is kind of crazy when you deep it. Let me put it back up. Yeah, seems to have been kind of one of these ones. So yeah, kind of almost that back three of Fofana, Caicedo, and Colwell. Obviously, the average positions means off the ball, on the ball. When we were fully off the ball, but obviously we had the majority of possession, then Cucurella did drop into the left back spot, and Fofana shifted central, and Gusto went to right back, and Caicedo was in midfield. But on the ball, it was obviously a bit shifted around. So yeah, very, very interesting for me. Let's finish the fullbacks off though, even if Caicedo seems to have been one of the centre backs. Just to still go somewhat in order. But Gusto, I wasn't particularly impressed from the things I saw. I didn't think he stopped particularly many attacks. I didn't think he, I don't know, obviously got injured. I'm not going to blame him for getting injured. But, I mean, to be fair, pass completion is strong. 31 out of 33 passes. Can't complain too much with that. He didn't really have many defensive actions, I can't lie. 0 out of 2 crosses. 4 out of 4 long balls is pretty good, to be fair. 1 out of 1 tackle. 1 out of 3 ground duels. Can't complain too much. What do we reckon, guys? What do we reckon? What would you give Gusto? Are we thinking like a 5, maybe? Yeah, I was thinking a 5. There you go. See, chat, we're not always thinking completely different things. See, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Oh, why? Where's it just gone? Absolute magic. Just disappeared. Gusti should not be inverted. Gusti. I assume it was a typo, but I like Gusti. That has amused me. I mean, JP says 5.5. A lot of 5s in the chat, though. I think, yeah. I just hope he's not. I just hope he's not injured for too long. I do hope he's not injured for too long, regardless of anything. But also with Reece James coming back. But hey, maybe it gives a chance to Josh Achimpong. It's something. Lee, I saw it. But I highlight it, I guess. Maresca and Osimhen striker not joining in the final days. We want players, but we want the players that we decide it has to be in our conditions. If a player is not here, then it was not. Nah. Yeah, I was generous to 5 fair do. 6 for me is default. Fair enough. I could do 5.5, but I think if we just give everyone a 6, it's a bit dead as well. Moises Caicedo, I'll give him a 5 as well. Could I give him slightly less, slightly more? Probably validation for both of it. Pass completion, quite good. 75 out of 80. It's not bad. 4 out of 4 long balls is pretty good. 3 out of 5 tackles is okay. Actually, I know people were saying the midfield, but bloody hell, these stats are not bad. 8 out of 12 ground duels as well. What are we thinking, guys? Let me know. Maybe I was too quick to say a 5 for Caicedo because, like I said, let me read it out again. 8 out of 12 ground duels, 3 out of 5 tackles, 4 out of 4 long balls successful, and 75 out of 80 passes. Not bad. Fofana 7, we drew the game, bro. He was so sloppy. Colwell was the better defender. I get what you're saying, Mason, but the goalkeeper made 2 saves. I really don't think the defense was the problem. If that makes sense, obviously the way Palace played it just didn't attack much. We dominated the game for the most part. But yeah, I mean, maybe it was a tad. I get what you're saying. But yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic and positive because I constantly get called being too negative. So, that's that. You give him a 7. Caicedo, yeah? 6.6 I'm seeing. Diaz brace, fair dues. Caicedo was good, 6.5. Max is saying 5. Everyone seemed out of position, so average. 5 is generous. Okay, judging from what I've seen a 7, I've seen a 6.6, I've seen a 6.5, I've seen a couple of 5s. So with that said, give him a 6 overall then, I would say. Seems about right. I initially thought 5. Then I looked at the stats. They look better than I thought. So I think a 6 is okay. Shall I shift it again into the base formation? Would that make it a bit more logical for everybody? I think probably, right? Let me just shift it into a 4-2-3-1 again. So it's just a bit more logical. And I know we didn't necessarily play like that, especially because obviously on the ball and we had the majority of the ball. It was a bit different. Let's move on to Enzo Fernandez then, shall we, guys? Because now I'm very intrigued what also the people that haven't spent the whole chat just complaining about Enzo. 82% pass completion, not as good as the older players we've mentioned so far. But then again, obviously plays in a more forward position, so he will try more passes like that. Accurate crosses, 1 out of 1. Should have had an assist from Maresca. 4 out of 6 long balls, pretty good as well. Tackles, 1 out of 3 is okay. Ground duels, 4 out of 6 is all right too. No, it's good too, actually. It's always like these stats, right? When you hear them, ground duels, 4 out of 6. And you're like, oh, that's not bad. But the problem is obviously with these kind of stats, the problem with it is obviously also like, did he get into as many duels as he should have got into, if that makes sense? The only manager bounds Chelsea managers get is in their bank accounts. Yep, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Ricky says 6.5. Fair enough. No way a 6. I'm sure it's non-existent. We got walked through. The opponent had 2 chances, mate. Well, 3. I don't think they walked through us, but it's your own. Yeah, Ricky says 6.5. Sorry if you can hear some knocking. I think my new neighbors have just moved in and they're probably like building furniture or whatever they're doing. And then they're given a 6, a 5, a 6, a 2. 2 is way too harsh. The Torres delusion, Werner delusion, now the Mudryk delusion. Some just keep falling for. Fair enough. His touches in the opposition box need to be better. I agree with that. The End Times says 4.5. Mason says 6. Enzo says 6. Had a weak game, in my opinion. Aside from a few forward passes, didn't really feel his influence. Yeah. Compared to what everybody has said, I think like 5, 5.5. I'm going to say 5. Maybe it's a tad harsh because I still think Enzo is getting a bit of this. Oh, he's in the centre midfielder, so he should be doing better. But I think he has different kind of responsibilities than he, for example, did on the Poch in this position. But yeah, he still should be a bit more helpful on these kind of transitions that we get. It's not wrong. I can't disagree with that too much. So I'm going to give him a 5. And we're going to leave it at that. Enzo's crap. He does nothing. We need strength. Well, if you only get strength, that doesn't really do much either. But I do agree, for example, that we should have kept someone like Ugochukwu in the squad. I think that would have put us in a better position. Maresca thought, it's only Crystal Palace, let's make some changes. Make some changes. We essentially played our best team. What changes do you want? Crossing room was good, yeah. Enzo can't tackle. Caicedo is bad also. Max is not happy with the midfielders, is he? There you go. Yeah, let's give him a 5. And let's move high up the pitch. I guess let's do Cole Palmer. Got an assist, obviously. Got the assist with the squaring it to Nicolas Jackson. Good run. Good assist as well, I guess. Had that free kick that, the keeper saved. Otherwise, let me look at some stats from good old Cole Palmer. 80% passing accuracy, 32 out of 40 is okay in this position. Can't complain too much. 1 out of 3 dribbles, 2 out of 5 accurate crosses, 3 out of 6 long balls, 2 out of 5 ground duels. Because he got an assist, I'd give him a 6.5. Would someone go higher than 6.5? Bloody hell, Kevin would go 7.5. That's a lot. Again, he wouldn't have been available today, even if we managed to sign him. So, Palmer 7. Palmer was poor second half, 6 overall. Don't think it was Palmer's best game, 6. Hopefully, Lavia is able to stay fit because we need to shake up this midfield duo sometimes. I agree with that. A 6.5 from Nene. Midfield simply isn't balanced. Yeah, I agree. That's my thing. I think it isn't balanced. I don't think there's individuals either playing badly or bad players. I just think the balance, we just haven't found the balance yet at all. Palmer was trying a lot. He was running too much. I just let him down. Palmer 6.5. Fair deuce. Another 6.5 from Ricky. So give him a 6.5. Why not? Let's do Pedro Neto next. Honestly, I don't know. It felt a bit like a Mudryk game where I'm like, did you do anything? He played 58 minutes. He played 14 passes. Touched the ball 22 times. Last game against Wolves, obviously we had an overall better game, but Mudryk only played in the first half when we overall didn't have that great of a game. But he had, in that first half, I think he had 13 touches in 45 minutes, and now Neto in 58 minutes at 22. It's not impressive, is it? I mean, it's passing short, 13 out of 14. It's all right, I suppose. 1 out of 1 dribble. Should be better. Crosses, 0 out of 4. Tackles, okay, he's a winger, so I'm not going to complain with that. Ground duels, 2 out of 5. Well, again, he's a winger, so it's not going to be the big deal. I'm going to give him a 4, and that's probably being generous. But obviously, the difference is he's new. And Mudryk is not new, so at some point you need to become a bit harsher on Mudryk. But last week, I think we gave Mudryk, ended up giving him like a 3. And I think it was kind of on a similar vein, if I'm being perfectly honest. Honestly, he might have been our worst player today. I probably think he was. Palmer was almost in goal. He was so deep. Okay. Has zero impact. Yeah, exactly. If we don't play down the left, it's mad. Well, yeah, we do. But it's a completely different manager now, right? And it's the same issue that we don't like. It's the third manager in a row where we don't use the left-hand side as much as we all think we should. We did on the Potter, we had this issue. On the Poch, we had this issue. And now in a few games in, we have this issue on the Maresca. Isn't that weird? Very weird. The keeper, Sanchez. Why? He made one save that's worth mentioning. The other save that he made, he nearly flopped it into his own goal, and the goalie couldn't do anything about it. So I think a 6 is more than fair. But yeah, we're at mid-table club now. Forget the money being sent. That's become irrelevant. We're mid-table, and we'll continue to be mid-table until the money's spent better. Actually, we finished 6th last season, which quite literally, by the definition, is not mid-table. But sure. And you're not hiring championship managers. Thank you, Clearleg. Well, yeah, that's a whole separate issue. Why are we talking about Sanchez? He's called Pedro Neto. I don't understand. I guess some of you guys maybe joined late and just wanted to give your thoughts. Fair dues. Ishako says 5.8 for Neto. I think it's very, very kind. I think if Mudryk played the same performance, half of you would be saying 0. But yeah, there you can just see some agendas. But yeah, Neto, I think I'll keep it at a 4 and keep it fairly smooth and simple. Noni Madueke, it's a tough one because in a way I thought he actually had a good game. 22 out of 23 passes, had quite a lot of touches, obviously played a bit more than Neto as well. Dribbling wasn't particularly impressive though for Noni, who's usually very good at that. Only 1 out of 3 dribbles, 0 out of 2 crosses, 1 out of 2 tackles, at least, 50% ground duel rate. I'm going to give Noni a 6. He should have scored. He should have scored in the first half on a couple of occasions. Was still involved really nicely in the goal that we did score though, and I still think he looked our most threatening player. So I'll say 6. Well, two of you have already said 6.5. So please put it in the chat. If enough of you say 6.5, I might change it. Supreme says Neto was mostly ineffective. The left side wing is pretty isolated, but I didn't see much end product. He could use a fellow runner between the lines, but we need more output. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of Pedro Neto in a nutshell. He's a decent player, but often ineffective and a bit, no end product. Me no speak English. Frank Lampard 6. Fair enough. 6 and 6. Yeah, all right. So not better than Palmer. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Obviously, no one would have said better. If anything, would have been the same. But yeah, defensively was putting in efforts. Oh yeah, true. To be fair, true. Defensively, especially in the first half, there was a moment that I noticed when he sprinted all the way back to stop a counter attack, win the ball, and win us possession. So that was very, very good. Fair play, Madueke. Certainly the last person we need to complain about today. And now we get to a difficult one. Good, the guy I muted earlier. I haven't seen him again since, even though he would have been able to speak again now. I only muted him for 5 minutes. Nicolas Jackson, though, guys, what do we do then? Because he scored. Bloody hell. Jackson only played 5 passes. He had 19 touches and played 5 passes. That's kind of crazy. And 3 of those 5 were successful. He scored. He obviously had the side netting shot, then the one close to the end where he couldn't get it past the keeper. Liverpool new coach has hit the ground running. Still doing well without Klopp, sadly. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't change a whole team and when you have a spine and a capable existing team. So, yeah. Damn, 5 passes. Not a lot of passes. Considering, let me look at it again 1 second. 63% possession. Considering we had 63% possession, that any of our players only would have 5 passes. A player that played the whole game is insane. Ground duels, 2 out of 7 should be better. Aerial duels, 1 out of 4 should be better. I'm going to say 5.5 because he scored and that's good. And at least that one as a point, imagine he didn't score and we conceded and we would have lost 1-0. So it would have been even worse. But he obviously should have taken at least one of the 2 chances at the end. And maybe is it harsh? Am I harsh? Should I give him a 6? Should I give him a 6? The end time says 6.5. Nene says 6. Kevin says 6. Got to be a 6 at least now. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. See, I got influenced by the guy that was constantly talking shit about Jackson. I got influenced by him. See, blame that guy. Someone in here really rated Arne Slot. He looks the part, to be honest. Yeah, I guarantee if you put Maresca to Liverpool right now, he would also look decent. But yeah. Obviously, very different. 5 passes insane, though. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm tired of blaming Jackson, man. We know he's not that guy, but we didn't get a top striker, so it is what it is. He scored 2, 6. Yeah, see, I still believe that Jackson can be that guy. I still can't believe that the guy He scored 14 goals last season. That's good. He had, 19 goals and assists? That's a good season for a striker. For a striker that, don't forget, that only the second half of the season before we signed him did he become a striker. He was a left winger before that. So exactly that kind of clinicalness in one-on-one with the keeper, that's exactly what he's not going to have. It's natural. It's natural. And I think if you give him time, that more can come out of that. Look at Dominic Solanke. When he was the age of Nicolas Jackson, he spent 2 years at Liverpool and a few seasons at Bournemouth and didn't score a single Premier League goal. Not a single one. And now look at him. Moved to Spurs for 65 million. Do you think that's too expensive or not? Everyone will have their own thoughts on that. But still, someone valued him at that. Strikers turn good later in life, not immediately. You aren't an amazing striker. Is it me that's lagging? Well, I hope so. Doesn't look lagging for me. So I hope that fixes itself, Kevin. Solanke still ain't him, man. Yeah, maybe. But still better than he was at 22. Me too, Kevin. Well, that is terrible news. Okay, so I've plugged my laptop in, but I'm also still on Wi-Fi. So what I'll quickly do, and it will be a bit weird. It's all caught up now, though. Okay, but still, guys, I'll quickly turn my Wi-Fi off, which won't stop it. It will just buffer for a second, and then I will be on Ethernet. And maybe that makes it better. You tell me then in the chat, please. Are we back? I think we're back. So let me know if it's better now, more laggy, less laggy, whatever. But yeah, why's my throat hurting? I don't need that right now at all. But yeah, let's give Nicolas Jackson that 6 and let's get to the subs, shall we? We didn't make all the subs, but we made some subs. 3. So in the 58th minute, we took Pedro Neto off for João Felix. In the 74th minute, we brought Mudryk on for Gusto. Honestly, that was when my stream started bugging towards the end of the game. So I didn't even really realize why. Just let me fucking do it thing. I didn't even really notice Mudryk was playing, I'll be honest. And then at the end, Maresca was replaced by Nkunku. I think Mudryk and Nkunku didn't play long enough to give them a rating. João Felix, though, he can get a sub rating. So what do you reckon? Did you notice anything from good old João Felix? I don't really know. Played 32 minutes. He had as many passes as Pedro Neto did in a third of the time. Well, half the time, I guess. 1 out of 4 dribbles. Could still be better. Ground duels, 1 out of 4. Tackles, 0. Yeah. I'll give him... He didn't do anything. Was it directly his fault? No. I'll give him a 5 with a star as a sub. Do people think that's fair? Mudryk was good, was he? I genuinely didn't notice him. But because my obviously Mudryk came on with what? How much to go? 15 minutes. And of that last 15 minutes, including obviously plus 80 minutes stoppage time, at least 10 minutes, my internet was gone and I didn't see any of it. So yeah. If we have to rate him like 4, maybe he wasn't good. Okay, another 4, bloody hell. Palace fact that the midfield neutralized our play, make us down the middle. Yeah, panicked on the ball a lot. Okay, as I said, against Wolves, the defense let us down. Against Palace, the attack took a day off. Yeah, no. But also, just the opponents just defended better, than Wolves did. If Wolves defended like Palace did today, I guarantee we do not score 6 goals. Do you know what I mean? Mason says, I'm not an advocate of Mudryk, but I actually thought he was good. He saved a possible goal with his defending and he worked hard, put a couple of balls in the box. Okay, it's good to know. Good to know. Like I say, I basically didn't see Mudryk, so I like to hear that, Mason. Appreciate it. Ricky says, Palace, I already read that out. Panicked on the ball, I already read that out as well. H-Necker says, 5 for Felix. Like I say, we've had a couple of 4s. I think because it was on as a sub, and he came on when we kind of were already kind of struggling, because we struggled from the moment, well, really most of the second half, but especially after we conceded. So I'll leave it at that. I don't think we're not giving Nkunku and Mudryk a rating, but at least good to hear that some of you guys have thought that Nkunku was, Mudryk was pretty decent. Let's get to Enzo Maresca then, shall we? Like I say, wasn't going to be the longest stream today, but obviously we're about to hit an hour, so we still did all right. Mudryk has always been better off the bench. Do you think so? Mudryk saves us from goal and pass on Jackson. Oh, did he play the pass to Jackson? Ooh, okay. I didn't even realize that. Mason says Felix did something nice, then chose to shoot instead of pass to Jackson. Maybe if it was Neto waiting, he would have slipped him in. I mean, maybe. Maresca was bold to bring on a winger for a defender. It didn't work out in 3 points, but those are the type of risks you like to see. I agree with that, actually, because initially when Gusto looked like he got injured, we saw Disasi warming up, and I was like, nah, don't bring on Disasi now. Whether he would have moved Fofana to right back or whether he would have played Disasi there, doesn't matter. I wouldn't have been a big fan of it when wanting a result. So I like it. I rate that at least. Kevin says 6 for Maresca. Is that Felix is a donkey in a cat suit? A donkey in a cat suit. Now imagine that. Try to visualize that in real life. Enzo Maresca. Okay, let me think about the team again. Do I have an issue with the team? No. I think it's reasonable, the team that he decided to start with. I mean, I would probably prefer Jorgensen to Sanchez, but Jorgensen didn't look great against Servette either, did he? So, that's not particularly helpful. The subs, I mean, he could have made more subs, maybe. But who'd you bring on? You're not taking Palmer off in the form he was in. You're not taking Maresca off earlier, and we don't have any other midfielders. That's the real problem for me. We just don't have midfield options when Lavia's injured, because we loaned out Ugochukwu and we loaned out Andre Sanders and we sold Gallagher. We just don't have a midfield now. We essentially currently have 2 midfielders in the squad, which is a real issue in my opinion. I forget. Oh, Dewsbury Hall, but he doesn't count basically. So still 2 midfielders. So yeah. I'll probably give Maresca 5. I think he didn't adapt well enough to Palace's adaptation in the second half. That's all I'll say. But obviously, it's not Maresca's fault that we didn't take the chance in the first half. And it's not Maresca's fault that also Will Hughes didn't get sent off when arguably he should have been. So, make of that what you want. You never left, Laurenz. You never left? Confused. I didn't think you left. Not you. No. That was the other guy. That was the other guy that I was talking about. Do we have one of the smallest pitches in the Premier League? We do. I do think the opposition find it quite easy to defend against us at the Bridge when they're just sitting back. Yeah, no, it's true. Absolutely true, which is one of the reasons why we need a new stadium. But none of that is happening either. Oh, by the way, guys, I've completely forgot to mention it because I haven't had time to stream yet. Myself and CFC Pies, you all know Pies, we have started a podcast called Chelsea Unfiltered. Currently only available on Spotify. We will try to get it out to more platforms, Apple Podcasts and other platforms as well. I'll be honest, because I was quite stressed and, like I say, 2.5 hours sleep, I didn't actually put a link in the description. But if you go on my Twitter, there you'll find it. It's last 1507. Or if you just look for it on Spotify, Chelsea Unfiltered. We have 1 episode out. We upload every Tuesday, so there will be a new episode on Tuesday. Please check it out. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be consistent. We're going to upload every week, and I think we're going to have a good time. Right, for the home support 0, as always, obviously, all you could hear was Crystal Palace. I'm going to be quite as blunt as that. Not sure who you're talking about now. Felix, there you go. It's learning the hard way. It's fair to say we need a balance. KDH was that guy to bring on if we need a clinical playing close to goal. A 5 for me. Kieran Dewsbury Hall will never, ever be the play. That's never going to happen, ever. Didn't like the subs, no impact. Didn't like the use of Nkunku and Felix in before him. Chops and changes every game, not my personnel. No, but also system. I mean, I guess that Caicedo dropped deeper today rather than, I guess. But I think the changes is on purpose. We almost have like a Conference League team and a Premier League team almost. Obviously, good form will change. Some will be part of that. Some will be part of that. Whatever you want to look at it. But yeah. But yeah, I'll give Maresca 5. I'll give Maresca 5. Start singing, let it go. Let it go. Bloody hell, why am I hiccuping? My throat hurts now, bloody hell. Maresca's having Mudrik for Gusto was nice to see. But Felix Vanetta didn't have much at all, and he couldn't go on the right wing. Left me with nothing but question marks. Yeah, but didn't Palmer move out to the right wing once Nkunku was on? But again, that was towards the end when I didn't see it all. Well, Ken Dewsbury Hall, only option, as no Santos, Leslie, or Lavia. Well, yeah, no, it's true, but I don't think it would have made it better. Same as, like, people complain about the subs, that Felix wasn't better, but was Felix better? Was Felix worse than Neto? Also no. So, is what it is. Crap formation, sets up, wrong subs at the wrong time. I think you're a bit too negative there now, Positive Live TV. I can't lie. But yeah, it's not a great start. We're now 3 league games into the season. We are currently on a whole 4 points. Supposedly we're in 11th. Is that true? Yep. Brilliant. In 11th, behind Spurs. On goal difference. Oh, yeah. Not great, is it? It's not great. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time we wrap this one up. As support, as you can hear, my voice is starting to go. Starting to go all over the place. And I'm struggling because I've slept 2.5 hours. Supreme says the problem with Dewsbury is average. If we can't balance the midfield this season, the directors have a lot to answer for. They do regardless. No, they have a lot of answers to answer for. More height would help out massively, especially in these types of games. Would it? Because we had most of the possession and the midfield was usually run through or just played over. So I'm really not sure if so much added height in midfield would have changed much, if I'm being totally honest with you. But everyone will have their own opinion. Supreme says no one can complain they're right for some reason. Yeah, fair dues. You will know better than I do, like I say, because my stream obviously started bugging out. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, again, please do check out my podcast. I will put it in the description after the stream now. Like I say, Chelsea Unfiltered. Check it out on Twitter. It's CFC Unfiltered over there. Check it out on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating. Follow the podcast on Spotify. That would be massively appreciated. And obviously subscribe on YouTube. Hit that like button. That would be fantastic as well. Set pieces could unlock the game for us. Could. But haven't so far. But maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this one up. Like I say, I'm struggling. I appreciate all of you that have tuned in today. I appreciate all of you that were super active in the chat today and were conversing back and forth with me because, like I say, I needed your help today. So I appreciate you guys. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching. Up to Chelsea. Upwards and onwards. Downwards and backwards. And I will see you next time.